Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here as the recording of this. It is Wednesday, July 19th, 2023. Standing on Main Street here in Cimarron, Kansas. A piping hot caffeinated beverage from a place called The Bakery, a little local establishment, coffee shop right over here. And I'm gonna be heading through the state of Kansas, crossing over into Colorado today. Gonna hit some small towns, quaint communities, and see what I can find. I'm inviting you to join me. Let's get going, shall you? U.S. flag there waving in the breeze, a nice little gazebo here. It's like a tornado shelter down there. City Hall here at 119 South Main. All of these small little towns. Just stepped on a stick. One thing I'll notice sometimes in these really fascinating clocks that are in these little areas, most of the time they're not working. Like this is not the correct time. It's morning time. There's the state flag up there. A lot of flags in this town. Actually, there's a flagpole in every corner. Very nice. The silos over there, the grain storage areas right there along the railroad tracks. It's the water tower for Ingalls. It's interesting, when I crossed over into this town, the town line, it said urban boundary. Never seen anything referred to as that. There's the Highway 50 chapel right there, country church. Veered off that road and taken some other highways, kind of out into the middle of nowhere. Off the beaten path, if you will. Not a lot on this stretch of road. All right, there is something out here, a place called Midwest Feeders. Lots of cows up there. Thousands of cows on that hill. Right here is some crossroads. There's a little rest stop. Wasn't expecting to see this out here. Where two highways connect. And there's a historical marker. Beersheba in 1882. First Jewish agricultural colony in Kansas was established. Some 60 residents lived here. Back in 1882. Dugouts and sod houses were constructed for homes. Wells were dug on the prairie. There's not a soul. Looks like there's some corn sprouting up right here. Small stalks of corn. Pulling into Dighton now, D-I-G-H-T-O-N. Thing about from being out of town, you never know how locals pronounce certain areas. Kind of like, I'm from Kissimmee, but people say Kissimmee. That way I know they're tourists, so I don't know, half the towns are probably not even pronouncing correctly. There's the town paper, the Herald, right there. Here's the little downtown section. Got the City Hall right here. Newer building, a telephone building here on the corner. An old body shop right there, Charlie's Body Shop. And over here, a couple relics of the past, these old trucks, gas pumps. Nice. And this is looking back down the little main street there. Heritage Hotel on that side. Classic truck. It looks like these might have been working recently because the price of premium diesel is $3.56 a gallon. This old Phillips 66 emblem on the side of this International. Got a flat tire though, so it's not drivable. Awesome. Get the water tower off in the distance too. See it over there, top of the roof line. Antique farm equipment through here, all on display, including this, which almost looks like a horse, his head tucked down, or maybe a praying mantis or an animal of some sort. It's up for interpretation. But take a look at this. It's a playground equipment. Wow. This is something else. Okay, I've seen a lot of these kind of merry-go-round, these wheels. Look at this. Stuck on the tree. Oh, wow. This has seen some years. This might be the oldest one of these I've ever seen. You can sit right here, spin people around on this. Yeah, that's awesome. You know, it's kind of interesting, spoiler alert, but by the end of the night, I am hoping to end up in Pueblo, Colorado, where this was made. Maybe that's a sign. That's my destination for the late evening. Hoping I can make it there by nightfall. I'm sure I will though. Oh, here's a sundial. Bird just flew by me and went through that tree. All right, I am very thankful and grateful right now for this little town here in the middle of nowhere, 10 miles from the nearest fuel station, which is kind of located up near the freeway. Price of gas $3.19, not that it matters. I would have paid $10 a gallon right now because my gas light was on, also some hay going by. My gas light came on about 15 to 18 miles ago. And I pulled over here in this little town and asked the local, where is there gas? I'm not gonna make it 10 miles up to the next gas station, which is on the side of the highway and the freeway, which is about 10 miles up, because I just didn't want to chance that. And I was starting to get really paranoid and afraid. So gas here, $3.19. This is not a convenience store, it's just a card station. Very kind local informed me where this was in town, told me to drive to the top of the hill. Whew! I guess in the excitement of me just out in the middle of nowhere at one with my thoughts, I forgot to fuel the car up. So thankfully this Frontier AG Incorporated is coming in handy. Getting some gas. I was really starting to think it was not going to end well out here in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. The name of this town is Gove, G-O-V-E, and I will always remember Gove, Kansas as the place I should have ran out of gas. If there were not those pumps there, I probably would have gone maybe 2 or 3 more miles and then been hoofing it, or talking to a local and seeing if they could sell me a gallon of gas if they had one back at their house. I had a whirlwind of thoughts going through my mind on what I was going to do if I ran out of fuel. Wow. I can breathe easy now. And here's a little post office where I saw one of the locals and asked him where those gas pumps were. Gove, Kansas, 67736. All right, back on the road. And that was an experience. Ended well though. It ended well. Thank goodness for friendly locals and unusual gas pumps that probably shouldn't even be there at the top of a hill. You served your purpose well. I now have a full tank. Moving on. All right, coming up to another little town here. Grinnell or Grinnell. And amongst the corn, an old cabin out there. Like it's kind of, corn has taken over. Here's the water tower. Grinnell. Hometown grocery there and the bank. This is their little downtown. Got the senior center, credit union. Town hall next to the furniture store. That's pretty much it. That's the town. This is another town about 20 miles from where I just was, called Levant, I believe it is. Next up, Brewster. Oh, look over there in the field. The library there. And a place called Heavenly Sweets Bakery and Cafe on the corner right there. Angle parking only. Post office 67732. Nice little mural right there. Brewster mural. Possibly an old theater. Could have been the Marquee. Or it could have been, well, maybe not. That looks like a garage. Liberty Garage. Interesting old gas station there. Got a John Deere tractor in front of it. Kind of unique architecture. You see where the fuel pumps used to be. Continuing driving along here. I've seen a few of these over the last hour or two driving along. The little spheres that have a radio station written on the side of it, almost like a miniature golf ball. That's different. That water tater, it's not a tater. It is a water tower stating Goodland, or Goodland. And almost the same size as the water tower is a big easel over here next to the dog park. This thing's like 4 or 5 stories tall. Got a butterfly painted right there. And a little seating area. Compliments of the Rotary. Standing before you is the big easel. 80-foot tall celebration of art and agriculture. Installed in 2001. Reproduction of Van Gogh's 3 sunflowers in a vase. It's a big easel. I can see why it's given that name. Pulling in right towards the state line of Kansas going into Colorado, a little town that has an odd name, but really makes a lot of sense. Colorado, Kansas and Colorado connected. There's a few of these across the US where they take the 2 state names, merge them and mesh them together. Technically in Kansas, but just a mile or 2 outside of town is Colorado. Colorado. Going in. This rest stop, unlike the other one, seems to be a little more run down. See a decrepit building back there. Brigos Park, right there on that sign says 1976. And I guess you could picnic here if you want to. Although the roof on that building does not look too good. A lot of water towers today. Colorado. Big bell right next to the town hall. Dirt roads. Well, this dirt road here connects, looks to be their little main street. It is paved. The railroad car over here, the community museum. A couple cars down here. Colorado cash store. All right, now officially crossing the state line. Welcome to colorful Colorado. great vehicles here. This truck kind of reminds me of the Jeepers Creepers truck a little bit, and all the bicycles in the back. I wonder if Pee-wee's bike is back there. Classic Fords right here. The first thing I see when I cross over into Colorado. Looking a little nasty over there. Up ahead looks pretty clear, even though it is raining. Like off to the other side of the direction. The bad weather, so this should pass pretty quickly. Raindrops on the windshield. Clear skies ahead, though, from what it looks like. Genoa. Or Genoa. It's a mailbox right here. There's a mailbox on top of this fuel pump. It's like a car. Once was a cafe, and the water tower should be popping up in view there. There's also a tower over in that direction that I want to go check out. I really am driving through a lot of really small towns today. Very small. Just one after the other after the other. Post office, 80818. Okay, this used to be an advertisement of some sort. Call this the Wheel of Fortune moment. Like, what was this advertising? Tough to tell. Lawn seems to be maintained. It's like it's mowed on occasion. Keep out signs and barbed wire fence up. I guess the story on this, the guy that owned this, he would give tours. It was like a attraction of sorts. He passed away 10 years ago. But it was a lookout tower. There's even a mannequin up in the window. It says, "See the States." No longer open to the public. Way out down this dirt road on the outskirts of town, the far outskirts of town. And that's going to do it for today. From Kansas and then into Colorado. I'm going to be in Colorado for a good series of days. I'll be seeing and doing things in this general vicinity. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.